Hello everyone, what is up? I'm Rob.
I'm Eamon.
It is Monster Fuzz, aka Mini Fuzz today.
Mini Fuzz, little Mini Fuzz.
Yeah, it is this Mini Fuzz. How are you doing, Eamon?
Very well, thank you. And how are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad. Feeling good, feeling prime of my life. A little bit tired today, but nothing too crazy. So yeah, ready to get into it. We've got a very spooky episode today, Eamon.
Okay.
It's lots of
I don't know anything about this episode. Lots of ghost stories.
It's a couple of ghost stories, a couple of hospital ghost stories actually. We like them ones.
Yeah.
And we also have one about some ghost lights, which are quite interesting as well.
Okay. Yeah, we've done some ghost light stuff before.
And I also read something today. Now, it's not in these notes, so I'll try and like ad-lib it in a kind of hammy way. But our good friends at Live Science,
good guys.
They actually have put out a study where it seems like they've kind of captured what happens when you die on a brain scan. So
see the parts that light up, or
they're kind of saying that they've almost scientifically, in a way, proven that your life flashes before your eyes when you die, basically.
Because of the activity.
Because of the way the brain goes, yeah.
Okay,
because of the activity.
cool.
So interesting. But before we get into it, we'd like to remind everyone to leave us reviews and also head on over and support our Patreon. You'll get exclusive episodes, you will get access to our Discord and ad-free episodes, all that jazz. Head on over and check it out. Quick reminder as well, we are on all the socials if you want to take a look. We're on Instagram mostly. That's probably our primary one. But yeah, we're on all of them. Check it out. Eamon, if they have any hospital ghost stories or any of the like, where should I send them?
Did you try to act normal in a hospital when you saw a ghost, but in reality you were shitting your pants? monsterfuzzpodcast@gmail.com. Write in. We've had lots of great write-ins before. The stories in this, there's no homegrown stuff. It's all
it's Reddit stories,
internet stuff, right? So this is a Reddit episode. So stop fucking posting your stories on Reddit and send them to monsterfuzzpodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely. So big shout out to our new patrons, Mr. Mark, Paulie Huokalani maybe, and Luann Green.
Luann.
Whoa, Luann. Yeah,
you gotta go.
Thanks very much, lads, for the support.
Really
it's much
appreciate it.
So yeah, that thing with the brainwave scans is kind of interesting. They were saying, I think, and I'm kind of just trying to conjure it up from memory here, but it's like gamma waves or something, I think is the frequency that's being used when you're dying, and like they were basically saying that they could see on the scan. It was actually totally accidental. It was like some old guy who I think had epilepsy and heart problems was like getting, I think must have been a CT scan or something like that anyway, that could see the brain. And he just had a heart attack and died when they were doing it.
Jeez.
So they were able
to see, so in a live...
Yeah, so they were like, oh, this is data we will keep.
Live science.
Basically, it seemed to like travel, like whatever was happening as he was dying was like traveling through the whole brain, going back into where all the deep memories and dreams and stuff happen. So it's kind of nuts. It's nuts when you think about as well that it's happening like in the same area that dream stuff happens as well. You're like,
that's the whole DMT thing, and that's what they say connects us with other realms.
Yeah,
because DMT is like highly sort of electrified and powered up when people are on ayahuasca and stuff, and it's like that's the part that's
pineal
really,
gland is getting all fired up,
the third eye.
I don't know, like I'm not sure, but like it's really fascinating that like when you die your brain is kind of almost in that like dream state again. So then you're like, what the fuck is going on with that dream state?
Because you would say like you had your life flash before your eyes, but obviously your brain wasn't dying. So the assumption there is that your brain's looking for a way to like get out of this issue that it's found itself.
And that guy was dying with a heart attack, so it was very quick as well. So like it would have been.
But I wonder, because this is what I was thinking. Like with the out of body experiences and near death experiences, your brain is dead, whereas this is dying and it's kind of lighting up as it dies. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting.
They just reckon now that they can scientifically prove that the light flashing behind the eye, like the light flashing before your eyes thing, is just provable now.
So they can see the counter. They can see that the data basically in the brain. It's kind of cool. Just the idea of bits of your brain lighting up.
Yeah,
like
it's just, I suppose, like it's just another little kind of a layer of the onion where you can kind of. It's a little bit more of like something quantifiable about something that happens to us all potentially.
Well, it's funny because effectively, and I know you sort of had a similar experience, but this is anecdote.
Yeah.
Because there was no way to prove it. So it is kind of cool where you see, because anecdotes, all science start as anecdotes. So this is actually a rare time that we at least have seen an anecdote turn into data-driven science, which is pretty cool when you think about it.
Yeah, and there's probably like a lot we don't understand about, like, say they're talking about these like gamma waves and things that are happening in the brain. Like,
I thought they just turned into the Incredible Hulk. Didn't he get gamma waves?
He did, gamma radiation.
Yeah.
But like, there's probably so much about that kind of thing that we just don't understand at all. Like gamma waves, frequencies, like how the brain operates on those frequencies,
hertz to
like
calm the soul,
the brown sound,
brown sound, yeah.
Like, it's nuts when you think about it. There's probably a lot there that's just not understood, and the fact that we're only really saying that we can quantifiably kind of track that life flashing before your eyes thing now, when people have been saying it for so long. So I suppose it just shows you like how little we do actually still know about that kind of mechanical side of dying.
It also shows you how hard it is to actually prove a lot of this stuff, you know? Because I kind of just assumed there'd be lads dying, they'd have signed a form and you'd have a...
I would have thought so too.
You know, but obviously not, yeah.
Like, I think I've definitely seen years ago, like I've definitely seen brain scans of people as they die, for sure. Like, I've seen that years ago. But I'm wondering, maybe was this the particular instruments that were rigged up to him were maybe more efficient at seeing stuff, maybe?
Well, maybe the scan itself just does way more. You know, it's a powerful machine.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
You know? It's really interesting. And I wonder, like, if are they somewhat guessing that that's what happened from tracking that, or was he like, now I'm a little boy on my tricycle. No. Now I'm...
But that all that kind of shit is spooky. Like, we've all seen and experienced that from elderly people.
Well, think of all that stuff when they say about... Well, yeah, that's true. Your old sort of...
You're going back to your kid state and all that.
Because there's other stuff I was talking about. George St. Pierre, actually, Rush. He was talking about a lot of his alien stuff. Me and Rashad Evans, we were in the car. You see a tic-tac alien. Tic-tac alien. They all saw a difference. And what's your man, Ali Abidi, or the manager. So they all saw this thing, but had like slightly different...
interpretation of it.
Yeah, which was kind of interesting. And then he went off taking ayahuasca and he like had all this like, the aliens, they went through my life. They say, George, you hurt these people. It was actually very interesting, and George St. Pierre he's actually a very good guy to listen to speak,
he is. He's quite entertaining.
He's pretty interesting.
No, it is a spooky, because my granddad has been sick recently, but he's actually, I think he's on the mend, but he had a couple of moments there where he was very disorientated, and one of the weirdest ones was like, my dad found him and he was like getting ready to go out and leave the house. And my dad was like, what's wrong? What are you doing? And he was like, I have to go, John. I have to go. And he was like, what do you mean? He was like, they're all waiting for me, the whole family, and they're all dead. Like, and he was like, they're waiting for me. They're all down in where he grew up in that house. He's like, they're all down in that house and they're waiting for me there. And you're like, what? That's
crazy. Yeah. And that's such a common trope. Yeah, like my nanny was in the hospital and she had her first. She still lived a while longer, but when we thought like this could be it. Her brother, who had died of tuberculosis when he was 7, was in the hospital. And she was there. There's Neroy now, and I have to get off of him. Yeah, and it's like, just you're kind of sitting there going like,
no, spooky.
Yeah.
So a good segue to go into that is hospital ghosts. We've got some hospital ghost stories here. The first one is from user DagoBot78, and if you want to tell this little smorgasbord,
they say, I work in a hospital and recently found out that there are all sorts of ghosts in this hospital, but people don't talk about it because they are afraid of being labelled as crazy. Well, I'm here to talk about that.
As are we. We don't care about it.
We have to do that at least 3 times every episode. Story 1. The first story. I was working a night shift in the ED as a resident. The night crew was awesome and we cleared the place out by 2 a.m. I was sitting there with my attending charge nurse, secretary, rad tech, and 3 nurses as we all BS'd, which one can only assume is bullshitted.
I believe so.
They bullshitted amongst one another in the sick house. One of the nurses had a 6th sense, if you will, and would talk about a little girl who would run out of room 17 and run into the medroom that was between room 17 and 18. For visual sake, our ED was set up like a fishbowl back then, large square with us in the middle, and all rooms have one door opening to the middle, and we all sat in the fishbowl where everyone could see us and we could see them. So it's just a room that's like a fishbowl and it's made of glass.
Potentially.
Possibly. I'd say so. So you can see all these lazy nurses not doing anything. Yeah. Good Lord. On this night, it was about 3 or 3:30. We were disbelievers of this little girl running back and forth between the rooms. Some of us, including myself, made some pretty snarky comments about it being bullshit and ghosts don't exist. How rude. I think one of the guys was even making fun of the alleged little girl and that ran back and forth, saying she would do some work if she's going to be here and hand out some proper meds or clean some bedpans. Simply stunning behaviour. We all had a good laugh. Now, at that time, we were sitting in the fishbowl and are facing rooms 9, 10, 11 with rooms 17, 18 and 1 behind us. The lights in the ED suddenly flickered. We thought it was Jimmy playing a trick on us.
Classic Jimmy.
As he was by the light switch, but he swears he did not touch the lights. Someone made a comment that was not so nice about the little girl's spirit. And just then, from behind us, in room 18, we heard a crashing noise, like something made of heavy plastic just fell and shattered. We all turned around like, what the fuck? And we all slowly made our way to room 18. No one was behind us, no patients, no staff, no one, just us in the fishbowl. When we got to room 18, the big 18 to 20 inch circumference plastic clock that was hanging on a nail on the wall at the top of the room that no one could reach was now on the floor. So me, being one of the first people in the room, yells out, "The clock fell off the wall and is in pieces." The charge nurse was like, those nails suck. It probably just fell off. It's just a coincidence. A very logical take. Then I told him, "No, you need to come see this. The room is a rectangle with an ED bed in the middle. The bed matches us with the shape of the room. Shortens, go north and south. The south door.
Short ends, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're not the best at English.
They're not. Anyway, the clock was nailed on the east wall, high in the room. If it fell off the wall, one would logically expect it to be in pieces on the floor by the east wall. The clock was actually found in pieces on the base of the west wall, directly across from where it was hung up. And there was an ED bed in between, so we know that fucker didn't roll there.
If anyone doesn't know, ED stands for erectile dysfunction.
That's what I thought as well.
So basically they're bringing you to a bed and wank you.
Well, they try to wank you. Like, is it a wank if you're like messing around with like a flaccid penis, or is it just more of a shake?
I suppose it's attempted, yeah.
Yeah, attempted wank. You're getting put away for attempted wank. You were attempted wank. Yeah, what was that? No, it was more than 2 shakes, and that's when you go to the toilet.
Oh, is it?
Would you be a shaky Mickey kind of a man, or would you be a dab toilet paper man?
We've been through this before on this podcast, and we've discovered that you're very dabbing. Feminine.
Well, no matter how much you wiggle and dance, the last 2 drops go in your pants. You need to. I think if you can combine it, but if you're at a urinal,
just piss
all
in your
bets
pants,
are off.
man.
Just piss in your pants.
Just throw it back in. Yeah. Let the underpants do the work.
You can hear it turn into an alligator. Yeah, let the underpants do the work. Yeah, that's what they're there for.
Yeah, they're a buffer, man. You know what I mean? That's what they're there.
Buffer between us and the other realm of existence when the penis comes out of its cage.
I know, so you have to do a bit of, shaky,
you just have to. You need to do a shake. It's a real danger though, isn't it, if you're wearing like sort of white denim. Now, who would wear white denim, you might ask? But you're going to get that.
I wore white pants once, white jeans.
How was that?
And I was like,
you got your period or something?
No, I was like, I'm just not wearing white jeans again.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
You just can't really pull them off. Like,
not lads, not honkies like
it's
us.
Not even, it just doesn't look right. Like, do you know what I mean?
Look, some people wear white jeans, look class. Like, see,
black lads.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, they're
black lads can.
Black lads can do it. I would say Japan, white jeans. I could see a Japanese guy pulling off white jeans.
True, yeah. In the
White
80s,
jean
they were
prints.
very much a look. You know, if you were in like Poison,
but I'd say
or
there was a
Whitesnake.
lot of lads just like that just had those fucking splash.
Yeah.
Those,
Acid-wash kinda,
those
no?
nicotine colored
Oh, yeah.
splashes down the pants. Because like that's the problem. You have black pants, navy pants, stuff like that. You're all right. You're getting no one can see. No one can see the escape of
be
your
doing wagon wheels
the
in your underpants or
mictuation
anything.
running down your denim.
I'm not be doing wagon wheels either. In your
Well,
underpants.
no, wagon wheels is a scary one.
No,
Underpants now. I think the
I don't like
caca
wearing
would
white
be in-
underpants either.
No, that's nuts. Wearing white underpants.
I do
is
have
nuts.
a few pairs of white Calvins when I'm
You're wearing
being
them
sexy.
now. I saw them earlier
I'm
when
being
you were
sexy.
riching up. Well, yeah, I was
sexy now.
clearly turned on.
Yeah.
When you went to get something out of the fridge, and I went, ooh, he's wearing his
Well,
Calvins.
no, usually now I'd be the black old.
No, well, it just shows up.
utilitarian.
It just
underpants.
You don't like. I know what my body does. I don't need to see
Out of sight,
my
out of mind.
inability to like keep it hygienic. Anyway, so the fucking clock is across the other side of the room. Unbelievable. That night we stared and tried to figure out how this damn clock got over the bed and landed across the room. The final convulsion, which I meant to think is meant to be conclusion, the final convulsion of the clock was that everyone agreed on it was thrown by something across the room, and most of us think it was the little girl. That's the day I became less of a skeptic. Now,
Tick tock.
Tick-tock.
My clock. Bitch. It's time. Ghost time.
the idea of a 7-year-old going to the top of the room, how would that look like? Would they float up or would their arms stretch out like Dalshim? That freaks me out a bit more.
I like how you said Dalshim there, as if
Dalshim.
you're like from India.
I'm from Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Yeah, Afghanistan.
Brian
When you see it,
Afghanistan.
it's such a lame thing to do. Dalshim. But his name Dalshim.
Dalshim.
Ryu. Would you say Ryu? You say Ryu, but you say Ryu.
I say both.
Ryu.
I say either.
But you say it's Ryu.
It's actually Zangief.
Zangief.
You say Zangief?
Mother
do you?
Russia bleeds for Zangief.
Yeah, no, you don't.
I would know
that.
some of the lads, you know.
I always used to say Ryu. I don't know.
But when I was a kid, I
Yeah.
just thought it was Ryu.
Yeah.
Then when I got older, I heard it was
Ryu.
Ryu because I watched the animated movie.
Yeah.
But then I think it's just Ryu. Like
No,
that's
it's
the way
not.
the
It's
Japanese
bollocks.
say
Nah,
it.
they're talking about
Show.
Ryuken. Yeah, Ryuken.
Yeah. And Ryu means
Shoryuken.
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 Ryu. It's Ryu. Shoryuken. Shinryuken.
He does that as well, doesn't he?
He says, "That's a maximum gaggle. That's a maximum
He
gaggle."
does do that. So someone chimes in on the hospital ghost thing. And again, this is something that we've had a lot of write-ins about hospital ghosts, like from our listeners.
Well, even Emma's story from working in that
Yeah.
hospital is
Emma
I think
from
that was
Real Life Ghost Stories.
that
She
was
had a story about that.
A psychological clinic or something,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's spooky.
Yeah, those clinics have been revised quite a lot in what you call them. So first it was lunatic asylum.
because they were away with the moon, of course.
Then it was probably first it was Madhouse. And then it was lunatic
Lads
asylum.
going in there with lead coated hats just off their heads, like
Then it was lunatic asylum.
lunatic
Then it
asylum.
was
yeah.
asylum. Then it was
Sanatorium.
sanatorium is another one.
Yeah.
Then it was like basically now it's like mental health facility, I think is what you actually call it, right? Isn't it?
Yeah. Mental wellness, or
Yeah.
maybe a wellness facility,
Yeah.
or is that more just where
You
you
can
drink
say
shots of
mental
ginger?
anymore. It's just
You
like-
no, yeah, you can't say mental. Like,
Happy
but you
time
can't
house.
take mental from me because I'm mental, and you have to let me say it.
Happy Time House, man. That's where you're going.
Happy Time House would be pretty fun. I'd like to go to
But
the
that,
Happy Time
in my
House.
opinion, right, the rebranding of now, to be fair, lunatic asylum is a bit much like, but the constant rebranding of that to me is just proof that like no matter how many times you rename something that's not great, it's always
It's
going to
still
be
not great.
you're always going to have to change the label at some point in time
Yeah.
because people are going to co-opt it and
Well, you
use
have
it
to
in a
remember as well
derogatory
that,
way.
like, 60, 70 years ago, they thought the cure to all of the sort of mad illnesses was just to stick a fucking knitting needle in your eye and squiggle your frontal lobe.
or do ECT, like the electroconvulsion
Which they
therapy.
still do.
They
I
still
thought
do
that was gone.
No.
But actually, some people I'm sure have had horrible.
Yeah. It looks horrible.
Yeah. But other people have said like that was actually the thing. That basically you're just hard resetting your brain. And they're just like, I was about to YouTube algorithm. I tried everything.
Cooked.
And yeah, basically I just took
600
2
watts.
cc's to the temples. and I've
600
got
watts for 2.5 minutes.
Pretty good.
So now I think it is just you're going to like a happy place is what they call it now.
I don't think it's the happy place.
I'm off the happy place.
I'm going to prescribe 20 pills of happy medicine. Yeah, I don't.
I'm off to the happy place for the weekend.
Yeah,
I'm not feeling.
I don't think
good.
you just get away with the weekend. They're like the ones that the rich people go to. Wellness center, where your health is our passion.
Wellness centers.
Most people get put into a real fucking scary situation.
Yeah. It is scary.
I was listening to a lot of people that like they're hoping that they get to the mental clinic, and it's like arrest, and a lot of them have almost, they say it can exacerbate. Now again, I've never been to one myself, so I don't know what that's like. I'm sure I will be at some point. I'll tell you about it then. But I think if you're in a really bad situation, it probably takes away some of the comfort. I'm not saying you shouldn't go if you're high risk. Obviously, you have to go. But some people have said some really, I don't know. I wonder, do you just get calloused if you work there and you're around these people all day, and after a while it just, because you have to protect yourself.
Yeah, you
as
do.
well.
Yeah, it's probably like
so the level of care, maybe, or the level of empathy that you hope to get, you just don't get there because these people are just too fucking drained by it.
It's like nurses, like they're trained to sort of, what is it? I think I only heard someone on the radio talking about it the other day, a nurse, and she was like, yeah, we're kind of trained, like, and the best way I could describe it is like, we're putting on our coat and we're taking off our coat.
Yeah.
So we walk in, we put on our nurse coat to a patient, and when we leave that room, that comes off no matter what's going on in that room. Like if that person is dying, if that person is like really, really sick, or there's something really grim going on.
You do get dinosaur skin. Like even from my job, I've had some situations where you're on a call with someone, and then all of a sudden they're like, I'm going to YouTube algorithm, and then you have to try and deal with that in the pocket.
Are you using dinosaur skin as like, because you think
dinosaur skin? No,
like, do you think that's a terminology that I can understand?
Yeah, well, no, I'm explaining it as I go. Like, here every day.
Let me explain it in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I was like, you're not going to get this.
Like the Ankylosaurus, I have to have a thick hide.
Yeah. But yeah, I've had issues where like, people.
Yeah, it's like harrowing shit. Like probably
it's harrowing shit, but you get so used to it after a while that you're just like, all right, yeah, grand. Like you're not like, sure, go on then. But it doesn't affect you emotionally. The first time it definitely did, and I not like I was just it was with me for a few days. Whereas now, if something like that happens, you just kind of do your best with it, and you're like, oh well.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. Like I'm very good at that now, but I think it's just because I've seen so much mad shit in my life.
I think so, yeah.
I'm like, here we go.
People always talk about like in work as well, you get a lot like resilience training, and it's like, that's the only training for resilience is horrible shit. Yeah, it is, because you can't fucking teach someone.
Office people, huh? And send them out into the streets of Dublin.
Ireland is full. No more resilience. No, but it's that thing, like they try to teach you resilience, but it's like, unless you're faced with something that's really, really difficult, and you learn to get a bit better at handling that, there's no, I don't believe in resilience training.
Send them all off to the front in Ukraine.
I believe in removing the speed signs from the roads and letting natural selection take its course.
There you go.
No, I don't believe in that.
So we had that story, and then another Reddit user called Sardox chimed in, and he was saying that he was also like, he was working a night shift as a paramedic for a hospital-based EMS service. The hospital is a level 1 trauma center and is always busy. I just brought in a patient with multiple gunshot wounds. No sooner had I given a verbal report to the attending physician, the patient went straight to the OR. I'm sitting in trauma 1, and that has 3 trauma bays, and they're all empty except for the blood and the debris left from frantic attempts to save lives. The only other person in the room is a nurse who was also finishing up documentation. I kept getting a weird feeling that I was being watched from the upper right corner of the room where there was a metal cabinet. I kept glancing over there because I kept seeing someone sitting up on top of the cabinet near the ceiling. The nurse suddenly spoke up and said, yeah, I think it's the guy from Bay 2. He didn't make it, and so it's felt weird in here since he died. Nurse so-and-so has been notified and is coming to guide him home. She does that sort of thing. And he went on to say that it's commonly known that several ambulances were haunted as well. And to go on further, this basically echoes the same story that Brother Richard told us that time. Remember when he was saying he was given the last rites in a hospital?
Oh, and she said, sometimes he doesn't go on now.
Yeah. And she was like, So you never know, maybe the nurses have some good ghost stories out there.
Yeah, my ma was a nurse. She's not connected.
She was the opposite of the spook, though. She was bringing life in, not life out.
That's true, actually. Yeah, she was
like the anti-ghost kind of.
She's got to get away from me.
She was bringing the spirits into the world.
She was bringing the new spirits.
But she has that energy. Your ma does, like
birthing.
Yeah,
birthing energy.
Like I'd like to see her ma when I came out of a fanny. Do you know? But like, hello, Anne. You're very pleasant. She is pleasant. She's
a very lovely woman. Yeah. I've never really considered.
I think your ma is probably for me like top 3 most pleasant women I know. Yeah. It's like that. Not romantic.
I'm kind of worried. No, I'd shudder to think she's the woman's 70. But
she wasn't always 70, do you know what I'm saying?
No. And she looked quite well when she was younger.
Did she, yeah?
She was an attractive lady.
And all that.
They were all my father as well. One of my father was a young man. He was quite handsome.
Was he?
You'd never know to look at him. No, he's
Ernesto Che Guevara.
Yeah, he's out there. He's out there with his little bus driver and commanding the Red Army.
Your ma has pleasant energy.
Yeah,
like,
she's a very
energy.
nice lady.
Yeah,
so much so that sometimes I have to explain to her that I was like, stop worrying about everyone. Like you're just damaging
That's great,
yourself.
That's a real nice quality, though.
It is a nice quality. She's a lovely person.
Yeah.
And
I want her on the pod.
Yeah, I'd say she'd do it as well.
When you're away now.
She'll bring the whole fucking family in here. The sister's been in here. Yeah. Bring the nieces. The 6-year-old can come in. Do you see ghosts? Yeah. No. Okay.
Cool. No, Anne is a champion.
She's very nice lady. I'm kind of worried to ask who the other 2 nice women in your life are.
Probably actually only her.
There's actually it's your ma, your ma, probably your ma, your sister, and your dad. Fucking.
No, your ma's up there though. So it's just a pleasant person.
My ma's a lovely person. Yeah, she's a very nice person. And my dad he's got a more gruff exterior, but he's like a chupa chup. It's very hard on the outside, but when you bite through the rough armor, there's a very soft center.
Is he a Cancerian? Is he born this summer? I'm not really one for astrology, but I'm a Cancerian.
No, he's April 5th.
He's an old ram, tough-headed Balix.
Break up.
Yeah. Big cranky fucking sheep.
I'm Libran, so I'm very balanced.
Oh yeah, scales.
Wayne Scales
himself.
The Somerville ghost lights.
Right, okay. So basically the crack with the Somerville ghost lights is that there is like a natural phenomena in this area where people are seeing kind of like almost like
this is similar to the Oxford ghost lights that we
with all the wisps, that kind of thing. And for years and years, like prior to this being discovered, like these have been like a folkloric tale or a thing. So now it's come to light that there may be an explanation. So Eamon, if you want to take it away.
Explanation. Legend has it that if you walk along Old Light Road in Somerville, South Carolina, you might see an eerie glow hovering over an abandoned rail line in the nearby woods.
Which even in and of itself is quite like, you know, people say train tracks and crossings and roads can be like liminal.
Well, that's true. Crossroads and
so you see like some weird light going over a train track. You're kind of like, that's some weird energy that's
pretty cool.
Yeah, crossing over. Yeah,
I like that. Old timers will tell you it's a spectral lantern held by an apparition of a woman searching for her decapitated husband's head.
Now, that's a good legend.
Wow, that is a
good
legend.
That's what you want.
Susan Ho has proposed. Hock, is it?
I say so.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Susan Hock has proposed a scientific explanation that is far more plausible, however. A seismologist with the US Geological Survey, she believes that so-called Somerville light could represent a rare natural phenomenon, earthquake lights.
Earthquake lights. Get that into you. Bit of an earthquake light.
I stand alone.
Have you ever heard of an earthquake light?
I've never heard of an earthquake light. I've heard of ball lightning, but I assume that that's like a static kind of thing. But yeah, no, I've never heard of that. She says, I'm sure there are colleagues out there thinking, she done lost her mind. But in the January issue of Seismological Research Letters, she recounts how her flight of fancy was a byproduct of more traditional fieldwork. In 2023, she and colleague discovered a kink in the tracks of the South Carolina Railroad, pointing to a fault that caused a magnitude 7.3 earthquake in Charleston in 1886. Her sleuthing for that project led to the revelation that small earthquakes in the Somerville area northwest of the city could trigger a seemingly supernatural glow.
No.
Hock chatted with Science about her foray into ghost busting. This interview has been edited for clarity and length.
There you go.
What put you onto the Somerville light? When I was working in Charleston, I would go to bookstores and libraries and look for local publications and sometimes find things with snippets of useful information. There were newspaper articles about the Somerville Lights, books like Haunted Somerville. I didn't give it a lot of thought. Then last October, a USIG's newsletter ran a little feature on spooky science. Frankenstein's monster. He wasn't called Frankenstein at all. That got me thinking again about the ghost stories, and some of the details just screamed earthquake phenomena. Such as, people said their cars would shake violently. Well, that's an earthquake. They heard noises upstairs, whispers, or doors would swing. Seismic events we may not perceive as earthquakes fit some of these accounts. And glowing orbs that would hang in the air along a former railroad track, well, that makes you think earthquake, lads.
Well, no, it doesn't. It's actually one of the last things I would think.
I wouldn't have thought of that at all. I would have just looked at me and look at those cool lights.
Yeah, I'm like,
okay.
Earthquake is literally one of the last things I would think.
Yeah, I think you're right. So they ask, are earthquake lights rare? It turns out they're all over the place. Lights have been reported in Wyoming and elsewhere in the Carolinas.
Wilmington.
Oh,
It's interesting that you just made up a whole different word there.
Yeah, I just saw that and I was like, I'm just going rogue. I'm just going rogue on this one.
Like Wilmington, Wyoming.
Wyoming, yeah. That is bizarre. Are earthquake lights happening inside my mind? Who's to know? Maybe those ghosts are illuminating shallow active faults. They're impossible to study because you can't catch them in the act. But there are plausible theories that might explain them, like radon. There's a nice review paper by Japanese scientist Yuji Enomoto connecting earthquake lights in some cases to the release of gases like radon or methane. Gases can ignite when they're exposed to oxygen.
Oh, so that's interesting there because we have loads of radon around here, Eamon, and I'm kind of wondering, do you ever look into that when you bought your house, by the way? Whether you're
radon?
Yeah.
Nah, ride or die, man.
Ride or die.
No, I haven't done it. I
don't think there's much up in your neck of the woods, but I'm fucking in radon town down here, baby.
My ma got somebody in there to check for like geopathic stress and radon. She's all into like witch doctor stuff, but I think there's actual stuff about the shaman.
Shamanistic.
Yeah, like when my sister said that at a very like, oh yeah, and the shaman were like, oh, shaman, I've never heard that spoken about it. And she was like, well, like, but yeah, me and Anna grew up like surrounded by witch doctors.
Yeah, but like if someone from the Congo said that to you, you'd be like, oh yeah, okay, fair enough, the shaman.
Yeah. When your sister who lives in Parkview says it.
I was like, what?
Yeah, it's we grew up with a lot of that
Shamans.
stuff. Yeah, Ma's like sent us. She finds
lads
a
with
witch doctor
masks on and all.
Hulabaga.
Grass skirts.
Yeah, they had Michele and Bembe dancing around in the sitting room, giving you reflexology and all. Like, it's a funny thing, but yeah, the shaman. So we end this by saying, in Somerville, I think it's the railroad tracks that matter. I've crawled around tracks during my fieldwork in South Carolina. Historically, when rail companies replaced tracks, they didn't always haul the old track away. So you've got heaps of steel out there. Sparks might be part of the story. And maybe the railroads are important for another region. They may naturally follow fault lines that have caved corridors through the landscape. I don't claim to have a fully mature theory to explain the lights. That's pretty cool.
So that's interesting because, right, so that article, that one scientist coming up with that theory, there's like hundreds of articles of this story. And it's like her theory is just very sort of like, a train goes through there could be gas coming out and sure, sparks maybe, I don't know. And everyone's like, there you go, that's sewn up.
Yeah.
It's like a scientist said
it. Yeah. This is science.
It's like, yeah, and it's in no way at all scientific. Like, which is really interesting because that parallels the live science article, because the live science article about the brainwaves I was talking about had like all of the scientific data, and even then it said we can't really go off one study and say that's what it is, but it's pointing to that. Whereas this one's like, yeah, sure,
that's probably what it is.
Seismic
sure, what else
activity,
is it?
Train.
Yeah, sure, they don't always get rid of the train tracks and then they be fucking bouncing around and all, electricity and all in the sky.
The thing now to me that's a bit like I don't come away from that article feeling anywhere more sort of enlightened about these lights, because I'm like, so radon's everywhere, right? Lots of places have lots of radon. I think the whole of Laois is basically red on the radon map, because I was looking it up when I was checking radon in the area.
Right.
And so where are all the lights there? You know, where's all these random lights?
In Laois, like.
Yeah, but even seismic, like if you're going to go, it's some way seismic and not radon.
Well, I wonder, because in Ireland we're not really on many fault lines, so you don't get a lot of earthquakes here. But maybe if Laois was some sort of epicenter, it'd just be going off like the 4th of July, you know? Just
turn into a big sinkhole.
It'd probably be the best thing that's ever happened in Laois for it to turn into a sinkhole and just go away. Ireland is like a donut country where there's just a big hole in the middle of it.
Yeah, that could happen, you know.
Pretty good.
It might happen. How was your week, Eamon? What did you get up to this weekend? Pretty
good. What did I do? I was up in Dublin for the majority of this week. So I was up the weekend. I was at one of our friends' birthday parties.
How'd that go? Where'd you go? What'd you do?
I was in Lemon, so basicly I was in the antithesis of where I like to drink.
Oh yeah.
Which is, I was in a nightclub that was loud in Dublin.
Mm-hmm. You're out of your element.
There's a little French lad though. He was like 23 and he was chatting to me. We were smoking cigarettes.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, did your mama take your pussy when you were young? But no, it was really fun night. All the people were really great. It's just, I usually don't like hanging out in those places, but I had a really good time with my wife and all her Brazilian friends.
Yeah, you're like, when I think the most I've ever seen you out of a place was Kildare Village that time when I brought you there.
I hated being in Kildare Village.
I
didn't know what was going on. I was like, what has become of Karl Marx and the dream of the socialist revolution? Where is my communism? What is happening?
Yeah, you didn't like that.
No, I really didn't like it because it doesn't even have any of the shops that I like.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, I get it. I do get it.
Like I did a little quick look around Dublin. I got your Ken Masters.
You did. You got me violent
Ken.
He's violent. He's very violent.
Yeah. Regular Ken's not violent at all. No. Violent Ken, extremely violent.
Ultra Street Fighter 4 exclusive, right? That's where he came from, isn't he?
Well, he comes. Actually, he doesn't. He comes from.
Is he older than that? Is he an alpha?
SNK versus Capcom Chaos. So that's when he was first in it. But technically, he's from the Street Fighter 2 animated movie when Bison gets him. So I think that's where it starts. Yeah. And then Evil Ryu doesn't come in till like Street Fighter Alpha 2.
Class, man.
Yeah, Violent Ken is class. I love the way he looks in SNK because he has like a weird afro kind of a thing. That's coming out soon. I have it.
SVC Chaos 2
physical.
Is in the Oh no.
Oh,
SVC
you mean
Chaos
the Capcom
is out, isn't it? Capcom versus SNK is
that's the with plasma sword and I think I'll pick that one up. It's got Street Fighter Alpha 3 upper as well. Sure, that's class. So I did that, looked at some nerd stuff. Great thing that I read that I really enjoyed. I got my hands on Batman Absolute, which is kind of like an Ultimate Spider-Man. So it's a retelling. It sort of shifts all the main characters around.
Right.
In this one, Batman is like built. He's ridiculous, but he's not rich anymore. His mom is alive, his dad's dead. They kind of rejig it all. It's written by Scott Snyder, who's probably one of my favorite Batman writers. I've been really enjoying it. Haven't picked up a comic like this and really dug it in a long time. And so I got the first episode, the Jim Lee cover. That's class. And I got also another Batman one, The Last Halloween.
So I remember that.
It's like
that's old, isn't it?
No, the Long Halloween.
Long Halloween.
You're thinking of. So this is like it's sort of not a retelling, but it's back to the earlier days. So Robin's just with Batman now. I'm not sure if it's after kind of Haunted Night and all that sort of stuff. But Tim Sale, who did the artwork on the original, so he passed away a couple of years ago. Eduardo Risso is doing this. He's the fella who did 100 Bullets.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so he's like, and it's all the one I got it's noir, so it's like black and white, and it looks beautiful. So I was like just looking at the pictures. So I really got a nice kick of enjoy. I hadn't enjoyed comic books like that for a long time, and I was always a big Batman guy. So I had a great time with that. And then I was saying to you earlier, I picked up the Avatar game for the PS5.
Oh, yeah.
Frontier of Pandora or something. Beautiful looking game.
Mm-hmm.
And they do some really interesting stuff. I think in order to immerse you a bit more in that kind of foresty sort of neon experience, the hood is basically disappears.
Yeah.
So there's a tiny little thing at the top that'll tell you kind of where to go. And aside from that, it's just you sort of picking up plants and shooting things with arrows. And really nice, really, really nice. And they do some lovely underwater stuff where you go underwater, your vision blurs. And if you look up and it's raining, it just looks class, like the rainwater.
You can fly in it too.
You can, I think, when you get 5 or 6 hours in, you get one of your Ikari or something they're called. I could be saying that wrong, but yeah, I'm kind of I've been in, it's the first game I've played in a while where I'm sort of like taken aback by how
good it looks.
Well, Cyberpunk looks lovely, beautiful looking game, but it's a very gritty, dirty game. Whereas this sort of foresty feel, it's very, makes you feel like you're, while you're sitting there smoking cigarettes, you can almost feel the fresh air.
It that one Digital Foundry's best looking game of the year over Alan Wake 2 that year it released.
And Alan Wake 2
I disagreed.
Looks phenomenal.
Yeah,
I think like they did it looks great the way they put it together, but there is some stuff as you're playing it.
It's Ubisoft, sure.
Yeah, so like level design doesn't exist.
Ubisoft.
It's probably and like most Ubisoft games, they look amazing.
Play the same.
But there's something.
Yeah.
I don't know even what it is you're missing, because like with any Ubisoft game, you play it for the first 5 hours, this couldn't be any better, then you're fed up with it.
So they all use the same loop.
Yeah, but I wonder what it is like they could do to try and, because even there's this, like they've said, Avatar is very much like Far Cry, just with less guns and stuff. And I haven't played Far Cry excessively, but from like you're ambling along and all of a sudden all the plants start going grey and you're like, oh, humans are around here, I suppose. Same thing, kill all the lads, and then there's a big sort of pump and you have to fire it here and hit it there and use a little thing, and now everything goes back to looking nice again. So I don't know, the story seems pretty decent though so far. Like it's it's interesting. It's not like just whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I'm hoping to. I'm really enjoying the look of it, so I'm hoping to.
Yeah, no, it looks really well actually, because I was Avatar is one of them universes where I just don't care.
Yeah.
So I didn't pick it up, but I might grab that Star Wars game at some point. But I'm playing Kingdom Come 2 now.
Oh yeah.
Me broadcast disc that I'm still fucking using.
Is it still sounding like?
Yeah, like sometimes it just doesn't read.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes it's like, that. What disc are you putting in here? And then other times it's just like not good. So fuck it, YOLO. You know what I mean? I might pick.
You're not going to send it back to the.
Sure, their bollocks is like. I do have to message them, but I don't want to be without the game for fucking 2-3 weeks while they're bollocksing around.
And how bad is the sound?
It depends. Actually, it's really strange. It's just inconsistently weird. I don't know.
Must be some sort of strange little. Because you wonder.
It's right on the outer ring. It's like the very, very outer edge of the disc is gouged all around it. So I don't know what the fuck happened to it, but. So I'm playing that. I'm loving it. It's a fantastic game. It's just really good, and it's cool to see them thrive off it,
because they're a pretty small publisher.
They started as a Kickstarter, like that. Their first game, like Kingdom Come 1, was a Kickstarter game.
Really? I didn't know that.
It was like, right, we get enough money, we'll make this game, and then this one now that they made enough money to like go into profit after one day, which is like fantastic to see. So you're great. Like, great. Considering like Alan Wake 2 was only profitable now.
Yeah, and they've only started releasing the physical copies. I've been seeing that pop up a bit more.
So did that, then got heavily drunk on the weekend.
That's right, yeah.
I drank a bottle of vodka. So
welcome to
came out of retirement again. Back out as the Undertaker. It's funny because like I drank, like I poured one of the lads a glass out of the bottle, but that was it. I drank the rest of it. And
what vodka was it?
Smirnoff.
Yeah, okay.
Just a bit of Smirnoff.
Was there any?
No
tricks?
No tricks.
As I've said before, you're annoyingly capable at getting hammered for someone who doesn't drink much. Like, you just hold your alcohol very well.
Yeah, I was nice and smug when I got home that night. I got home at about 2 and I sent you a message around 3 going, I'm just sitting here laughing about how you said I'm annoyingly drunk, and I'm annoying with drink. I am annoying because I'm sitting here eating fucking potato waffles at fucking 3 in the morning now.
You can't touch me, vodka.
But what I will say though is I woke up the next morning and I wasn't so chirpy and sat on the, as you do, sat on the bathroom floor thinking I'm going to vomit everywhere, but then I recovered, no vomiting, and prime my life again now. Don't feel too peachy today now. That was
really
like I'm grand. I'm just a little bit tired maybe, you know what I mean? But
with a hefty night like that, you need probably
fucking vodka's heavy going, like, you know what I mean? Fuck me.
Well, it's not even like I was saying to you, I don't even think it's about, I think it's lack of sleep.
Yeah, but fucking the vodka, man. It's
a
like
full bottle
chemotherapy.
is a fairly ridiculous, You've killed everything bad and good inside you.
It's not good, like, it's a lot of spirits to be drinking in one sitting.
I think the most that I would tend to drink is like a couple of, 2 beers, maybe 3 at a push, and then a half a bottle of something.
Yeah.
But like 3 beers does not equate to a half a bottle of 40 proof alcohol. Like, that's...
Yeah, no, I don't know. It was just, it was in the vibe. Do you know what we did, right? So I was really annoyed first off because my mate was like, we're going to have a board game night. And I was like, right, okay, why are you inviting 20 people to a board game night? What board game is 4 to 20 people?
Yeah, Twister.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, I went up there and I was like, man, this is like fucking Project X up here, like Spring Breakers. I was like, what board game were you going to be playing? So, of course, we went back to fucking 2011 and we played Kings. And I was like, but this was actually like a corporate version of Kings. It was like a board game style Kings. Kings traditionally you just play with a set of cards, right?
I've never played Kings.
Yeah, so the King's Cup is in the middle of the table. And whenever, I can't remember the rule. I think
something to do with the higher card or something.
Yeah, so I can't remember how the original goes because it's literally been since like 2011 since I played it. But I think what happened was you put all the cards face down in a big pile around a bowl or a pint glass. Usually it's like a jug or something. And whenever someone, I think this is how this one worked the other night, but I think the other one works the same as well. Whenever someone draws a king, everyone has to pour their drink into this middle bucket.
Okay, so
and
you
then
get
the last
trough,
person to draw that last king card has to drink down the whole trough. And it could be like, it could be like
a bit of beer, a bit
of vodka. Like, so the Kings from Saturday night was
no fag butts.
But there was vodka, there was wine, there was all sorts. It was cider, beer.
So every general drink that people could be drinking was in there. That sounds
luckily I ducked it.
You didn't manage to get it.
No.
Who got hit with it?
Nolan's missus. But it's funny because this game version was actually quite fun. Like you draw a card and it's like one of the cards I drew and I had great fun with it. Was like you have to talk in an accent until someone draws another king card and like you can't break character.
Okay, so you just
I just went in a Cockney accent.
Boy.
Yeah, literally went in a Cockney accent.
Nice.
And just funny stuff like that. It was just go crack. So yeah, it was good. It was a saucy old night now, and it would be very rare that I get that sauced up. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
Will the next saucy night for you now be when we go hiking mountains again?
Probably
February, March, April, May. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a quick reminder to everyone in case they did miss it. So yeah, that last weekend of May kind of ish. It's not
24th,
25th of May. I will post something on Instagram this week, just like a little graphic saying we're going, so everyone kind of catches it. And yeah, that'll be good fun too. That'll be a bit of a session for sure.
And I think that the trek itself is less taxing this time, so I don't think people will be like last time when everyone went down for nights after. We're like, why are we here? Everyone was broke up. So I think and
I was kind of fucked because I had to drive, so maybe this time we'll try and work something out where
I think last time it was tricky to even get taxis.
It was. It'll be the same in the fucking Lake District, but we'll try and work something out.
We'll sort something out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll be grand.
So then I had a Pakistani taxi driver on the way home, Muslim fella, chatting away to him. I was, of course, languid
home from
yeah. out of Uber chatting about
Did you
it.
ask him about the Ayatollah or anything?
I'm the Ayatollah of rock and roller. No, what was I chatting to him about? A lot of fucking.
So it's always
talking
fun
shit.
talking to taxi drivers, especially
I
guys
love
who
them.
I love talking to like, where are you from? What are you?
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
just they tell you all the culture and like it's always quite entertaining and interesting.
Yeah.
They never ask us anything because they know we're just pissed up white lads who they're like, I don't need to know
I'd
about
say
your
the smell.
shitty culture.
I'd say the smell off my breath from the spirits. Now I'd say I was literally pure.
Did you have that the next day
septic.
when you wake up and like your whole mouth just feels like some
I
sort
had me CPAP on, so I was like Darth Vader in the bed dead.
Jesus Christ.
But that helped. Actually, interestingly
I would
enough,
imagine the oxygen helped. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, and it just shows you the kind of the damage that alcohol does to your body. My score, my AHI, which is how your sleep apnea is sort of calculated, my score after the drink with the CPAP machine on was higher than when I was diagnosed.
Really?
Yeah, without any machine.
So this might be
Why I don't drink that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now
You're
back.
Performance enhancing
Now that
drugs.
you're back,
I
you've got
back,
your
baby.
PEDs.
I back, baby.
Woo!
No, like literally, that's probably it. Like,
Yeah.
and
Because you ever since I knew you,
Yeah.
you're like not into the drinking.
I mean, hangovers
and the
were
only time
raspy.
you started to get into the drinking was when you were a bit more single
looking
and
for
there's a bit
shifting.
more.
Aye.
Well, there's a bit more excitement to the night.
yeah,
you know.
what am I going to do? Sitting around drinking with the lads? You joking me? What's what did I get out of that?
Well, that is what you did the other night.
Oh yeah, but sure, I'm bullied into it now. I have to because it's like, it's had to be social.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
I'd like to just I never put any pressure on you to drink.
No.
As a man who is quite fond of a tipple,
I see. Like, it was a housewarming party. I kind of had to go. Do you know?
well, if you're not going to have as much
And
fun
it's
if
my
you
good
stay
friend
sober.
Nolan.
And to be fair, if you're sleeping better after drinking a full bottle of vodka with the thing, then if I was you, I'd just probably keep going.
It was a very peculiar sort of night where like nothing, like time stood still and I didn't even almost realize I was drinking because like it was like I was being controlled in a video game or something because like I like poured out the bottle of vodka empty and like it didn't even dawn on me like you've just drank a bottle of vodka like and I drank that and I was like, hi, grand, and then I was like, oh shit, it's time to go home, is it? And like it was grand, it was great actually. It was nice,
a wonderful time.
seamless.
It helps you connect with those around you. You know, it's a lovely experience, especially if your factory settings are good and you don't start turning into a maniac.
No, it's good.
And you're with other people who are like that.
Great.
Perfect.
Came home, a few potato waffles into me.
Even the fact that you managed to put the potato waffles on, that's because you have to cook those.
Yeah. Potato waffles,
again,
and I had a few jalapeno cheese bites as well.
Nice.
You know, a bit of water up to the bed, then CPAP on.
Put on your Bane
Darth
mask.
Vader.
Off to sleep.
I want to know what happened to the plants. Off into the bed.
Lovely voice.
So yeah, that was it. No, it was good. But other than that, I'm trying to think, is there anything else? No, it's been fairly sort of standard out week now.
Yeah.
But no, it's good times. Good times to be had. You're away now next week, but
I think we're gonna.
If we don't have
so
you,
Paola, my lovely present wife, is working. My present wife, she is working till 3.
Yeah.
So I was gonna stay in Dublin because I'm back practicing music with men I had played music with 15 years ago.
So the midlife crisis kicking in, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna get me lip pierced and get a tattoo of a bat over my left eye. I'm looking forward to that actually.
It'd be
just
great.
to play
Do a bit
again.
of music. Yeah,
It'd be good fun. I was gonna stay up. Well, I'll probably come down then the next day, maybe Sunday. I'm not in work on Monday, so you can do the thing and look, we should get it out of the way.
If we get it out of the way, we get it out of the way. If not, Monday's episode we'll have Eamon, and then Thursdays and Mondays the following week we'll have someone else. Random assortment of people.
Yeah, I think you just need to sort out that following Monday.
Yeah,
is the main one.
Oh, the next one after.
Yeah, because
you'll be.
I don't. Let me just double check. But I don't think we're back till the Sunday.
Yeah. Well, we'll sort it out. Well, look, I'll sort it out. We'll have guests.
Dental tourism.
I have plans for guests.
Dental tourism.
This time I'll try not to fall back on old faithful Tim, even though we love Tim and it's always great having Tim. But I'll actually try and get better.
I can. Well, I have to bring my laptop. I can just bring my microphone to Portugal and be like.
That involves me having to edit remote guests again.
We're going to something called, I believe it's called a safado.
Yeah,
where we have dinner and people just dance around us.
Alright.
I was like, do you want to go to this? I was like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, why not? Oh, that's fun. I remember I was in a restaurant in Italy, in Naples, and there was just fucking mad like old Italian man going around screaming and fucking playing guitar and singing mad shit, and you're like, this is class.
Yeah, it's kind of what you want. When we went to Peru, they did like a play. I didn't know what was going on, but at the end of it, some guy had a cool dragon costume.
There's a place you can go to and they do fucking what's it called, Mamma Mia.
Oh yeah, as you're eating.
Yeah, like the waiters and all are all part of the play. The waiters and waitresses, and like they'll come over and go like, oh, what do you want? Steak and chips, whatever. Yeah, grand, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then they run off and sing fucking Dance the Queen, and then they come back to you.
You can dance,
then,
you can jive.
ABBA are fucking class, like, so.
ABBA are class, to be fair.
You know what I mean? Class band, underrated. Well, they're not underrated, but class band. Right, we'll leave it there then, folks.
Bye.
That has been your baby mini fuzz for this week. We will see you next week. Boom, boom, boom. Tune in, find out.